afternoon. You're welcome to your favorite social media program, The Buzz. I am Rose Blossom Mwe. Of course, it's Tuesday, and we have our guest, amazing guest in the house. But before that, I have my co-host, Patricia. Patricia, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rose.
How you doing?
I am good. Should we say thank God it's Tuesday?
No.
The weather is handsome though.
But the weather is beautiful.
Yes.
Trust me, the weather is beautiful. Okay, so we have an amazing guest with us today. We have first Chris, who has told the world and is back now. It's good to have you, Chris. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. It's good to be back every day.
Right.
Always amazing big day.
Okay, and we have Mazi, of course, that likes, his village than anything in the world. Right. Mazi, it's good to have you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. There's no place like home.
Yeah, you always say that. You always say that.
One thing I want to communicate to our viewers and our prayer should be God help us to do our things so that we apply our hearts to this. It's key. Exactly what's it.
Okay. All right. So, you're welcome. And of course, you can be part of this show. As much as we say so many interesting things and what's buzzing on social media, you can be part of the show by, calling or sending a text message to the number that will be displayed below your screen TV. Please, when you call or when you send a text message, make sure you indicate your name and where you're calling from. If you're texting, your name and where you're texting from. Anyway, it's good to have us again on the show. Well, let's go over to what we have for today. Now, the first thing that's trending right now is the EFCC reacting to the trending video of Tompolo. Mano, please, can we have the number on the screen? Yes, thank you. All right, so we have the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has reacted to a trending video of former militant Tompolo being sprayed money at an event. Well, over the weekend, Nigerians dared EFCC operative to arrest the former militant after the video made the rounds of social media. Now, in the video, guests at the event could be seen spraying Tompolo money while he worked and danced around. Now, responding to the criticism, EFCC in a statement posted on social media this morning, that was yesterday morning actually, that nobody is above the law. Tompolo will have questions to answer. Well, for those who do not know, let's quickly watch the video and be right back, of course, to discuss about this spraying of money. We discussed it earlier on sometime, I think last week, but please, let's watch the video and be right back. I welcome back. Yes, that's Tompolo dancing. Of course, was stepping on our naira. I saw the video earlier on. I was like, to be honest, I was like, can they really arrest? Can this man be charged to court? Will he actually, or they will pardon? Like the one we had AY who was pardoned after visiting the EFCC. We also had Yabo Joe who was later pardoned also after visiting the EFCC. Well, he's a militant. I feel like, what can you really do to a militant? But anyway, let me start with you, Mazi. So, what do you think about what do you think about this video? And do you think EFCC can do the right thing, to this man?
Ordinarily, it's supposed to face the law.
Right?
Because nobody is at the law. But my worry is you have people, you have I think that's something we should address within one tender. And I think for somebody, the former spokesperson of the I told him that they are just like the park to the night. Yes, one go to the bank and pass it late. Go to the party and you show it. He said, no, fine, it's not so. But I said, if you go to, in fact, there was a wedding ceremony.
Okay. I'm sorry, Amazi, you continue with that story you're telling, but we have to go for a commercial break first. Yes, the Yak as well. So let's quickly go for a commercial break, and of course, we'll be back to hear, the amazing story that Amazi is telling us. Stay with us, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're still watching The Buzz, of course, your favorite social media program. And yes, Mazi, you were actually saying something, but we'll be having another quick commercial break very soon. But please, we still want you to continue,
Yeah, because of time also, I think let me summarize. That story ended by the way it has to be. It has to be ended because nothing happened. And for this one now, there are untouchables, and this is one of them.
Really?
Yes, it's untouchable because EFCC will carry him. They will just merely invite him. They might not even.
He won't show up.
He will not even show up. And even if he goes there, he'll go with a crowd of people, supporters, and you see from nowhere there will be. These are people who see themselves as Nigerians. These are the people who see themselves as institution. Human institution. These are the people that you regard as untouchable, the owner. Otherwise, why should I think there's a law that bans spreading.
Of course,
let
yes.
alone dancing on.
Yeah, working on the money.
In church,
yeah.
you see it. So the last time I was in a party, I saw people, but they were more organized, but they were just putting the money on the floor. Some used to have
bags, yeah.
But this one now, it's a demonstration of the rascality we're talking about.
Okay, all right. Let's quickly go for another commercial break. Well, we'll be right back to actually hear from Chris if he actually buys the idea that this man cannot be picked. But anyways, let's quickly go for the commercial break. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. You're still watching The Buzz. I almost said we must. You're watching The Buzz. You're welcome to the program. Okay, so we'll be having all the discussions behind the camera, but of course we would like to hear some of them right here on the screen. So please, what's your take?
All right. The video making round of Tombolo stepping on the naira and doing all of that. That's obviously reckless. There is an existing law that says you can't do this.
Yeah.
No spread of money, no abusing of the naira notes and all of that. You are aware of it. For crying out loud, let us be sane as humans. You are aware of it. The intentional march against the law is not a show of power. For me, it is illiteracy. It is insanity. Just be an abiding law citizen. It doesn't reduce you as a human being. It doesn't reduce your worth as a person. Whoever you think you are, however big you think you are, just abiding by the law does not take anything away from you. Just be a sane human being. First and foremost, be a law-abiding citizen. That's patriotism. What we see Tobolo deep there, just stepping on the naira like his law unto himself, is unacceptable in a decent and in a serious nation. But of course, yes, I will expect that EFCC will probably invite him. They should invite him. But of course, there is the scare that he might just be pardoned, wave aside, because we've seen Yabo Joe escape that, we've seen AY escape that. So it might that might be a safe level for them to also pardon him, because taking on a Tombolo will not come without some challenges. But sincerely speaking, what he has done is impunity. It's a culture of impunity that is ruining the fabric of this nation. We cannot be a serious nation. We cannot go far with this kind of attitude, being pardoned, and the nation just look the other way around. Because nobody is no single individual is bigger than the nation. This is one attitude that must not be encouraged. So if since you at least start by inviting him, and let's see what actually happened there. Although going by the history of things like this, we do not expect much to come out of it, despite the fact that it's openly, insulted the law of the land. But at least they should invite him. And I would have hoped that they will have the stamina to take him through the length of the law, to test the law, and then take him through it, and then make a scapegoat of him if it's possible. Of course, we do know that, look at his background, his history. We know his boys and all of that, what they could come out to do and all of that, and trouble the nation. There's that scare. And of course, this is a political era. It commands some kind of influence, and then every political gladiator wants his support. And then you don't want to steer rock the water and then, fear the bulk of people that are with him. But ideally, now where we are as a nation, because there's no consequence to bad behavior. As a nation, we've not had that stamina, this team to punish bad behavior. And we cannot continue like this and expect to be where we ought to be as a nation.
Yeah.
I mean, people just openly, this is impunity. People just wake up openly, disregard the law, abuse the law in public glare and all of that, and then nothing happens. For crying out loud, this is supposed to be an organized nation, governed by laws. But when people act like this, like they are more than human, I mean, he's not Alexander the Great. And then at the end of the day, he behave this way and they get away with it. Then it's a nation that is just joking. It's like a comedy show.
Yeah, like Chris said, I think, like I said, we have laws and we have laws.
Okay.
Two sets of laws, one for the common man and one for the. By now, we should have been discussing that have been picked up, but unfortunately, it has not. And only God knows when if that will happen. Like you mentioned, impunity, rascality, and the lawlessness. That is what has been exhibited. And we want to see the federal government through the instrument of FCC to come forward and pick him up and ask him some questions. And they found guilty, let me use the word, charge him to court and let him make face the confession. We have laws that people, honestly, it's an abuse of the naira.
Yeah.
And a slap on the face of our judiciary and a slap on the face of our own intelligence and integrity. Because you can't do this in America. You can't do that. It's only it's an opener that we are not respecting what we believe. We are not respecting our institution. We are not respecting our money. Even though it's nothing, our money is something like that. But then we should, when we call it Nigerian currency, it must be respected. But then see, a man of that caliber, a man of that personality, stepping, marching, dancing, spreading it, and people are looking, clapping hands. Like Chris said, it's possible that those that matter, those that are supposed to arrest him, those that are supposed, they are there. So they will take part of it. But then, it should be beat. EFCC, over to you.
Well, I hope you do.
Say that. My question is, okay, we have shortage of money in Nigeria right now. Because sometimes you go to the bank and they tell you, we can't give you more than 10,000. You know, and even when they give you the 10,000, it's dirty. I know I went to the bank last week, Thursday or thereabout. I wanted 300,000 and they said they could give me just 100,000 after pleading. And by the time they gave me the money, it was all dirty. So where do they get this meat that they go and spray?
Same bank.
Which is in Nigeria or they bring it from abroad?
Yeah, it's me, you will give me that 300,000. You will give me. I won't.
Really?
Yes.
Give me. I remember when my wife died, I went to a bank, one of the banks, I don't want to mention it. I said, please, I need half a million to process the burial and whatever. And they said, we cannot give it. I said, look, I need this. And you cannot ask me to leave it. And of course, they gave me the money. Maybe because of the circumstances. But then, the question is, what are they getting? I went to the bank. Do you know that if you, let me be precise here. If you go to Maya, each time I go to Maya, right, I make sure I visit about 5 banks. I can hardly get one from the ATM. Hardly. But you see, POS around that corner. So the issue is, where are they getting this money? The answer is this. It is allegedly said that they collab with the bank managers. And again, I remember in the time we were in the bank, so there's what we call sorting fee. When you deposit old money, you pay some token. As a bank, pay some token, and they give you the. And we don't know. By now, we're supposed not to be seeing this old naira note. But you still go to the bank.
And so see, even dirty and torn.
Very dirty.
Really? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the smell. Yes.
So the question is this. I don't have the answer. Please, I don't know where you have the answer. Where are they getting this money? The source is from central bank. From the central bank, do you remember during the scarcity of
scarcity of cash?
Some of these people were getting cash, new ones, printed by new ones, while the masses were suffering. So the issue is this: could it be that the central bank is now ordering it or giving it to these bank directors who use it for that? And I'm sure this one wouldn't have come from commercial bank.
Sure, Mr. Chris.
The first ill we are dealing with here is the fact that there's a huge patronage of corruption in Nigeria. And then secondly, corruption sells big time in Nigeria. That's the problem we're having here. Because you discover that at all times, there's always a way to cheat the system. There's always a way to cheat the system. An average Nigerian is corrupt. Terribly corrupt. Put the system on ground. Nigerians will find a way to make money around it. Then what they do is they commercialize the process. Once they will dig out a way to make money off that system. So they will compromise the system. They will make the system difficult to work. Why? Because they want to market it. They want to make personal gains, monetary gain out of it. That's what they do. It has become an institution. Corruption runs in our veins as Nigerians, particularly those in place of authority. You just want to market it. You want to market the opportunity you have. You want to market opportunity to serve. You turn it to a money-making adventure. That's what they do. Now, the means, the new naira notes are there. They just won't take it to the bank. Rather, they will keep it because there's a market for it. Those who spray at the party, you buy the money. There's something you get out of it. So they are making money or by this side also for them. So they won't let it flow into the system the way it ought to. Why? Because they want to sell. They want to sell the money.
But don't you think those are the people EFCC should go after?
Yeah, but the problem is they also probably they know how the way of going around it. You see, a senior colleague friend, Pastor Luabori, once told me a story, and that story still, hit my head because it's embarrassing because I find it to be true. That makes it much more embarrassing. He said, "And another Nigerian, we always want to take part, take from what is on ground, find a way to cheat the process." Now, he likened it to a story of someone that was sent to buy egg, boiled egg. He went to buy egg, and he was looking for how can I be a part of this. He looked and looked. There's no way he can pinch for me that it will be obvious. So he started licking it. The egg, just to see at least I took part of it. Crazy. That is how horrible it is with Nigeria. So why for crying out loud? Why can't we just be sane to do the right thing? You are in a place of authority. You are meant to make things go around. Let it just flow without you thinking about what you gain for yourself. So when you see this kind of money in parties, spraying money in parallel, it's because some people have turned into a market scenario where they sell it. But of course, yes, if we have the political way and we're willing to do the right thing, you go after them. The people selling the money in the market, you arrest them. So let them come and tell us where they got the money from. We should start. That's where it starts from. That is where it should start from. If we have the political will to actually prosecute this abnormality, arrest these people, pretend like you want to patronize them, then you arrest them. By the time you start arresting them, putting them in jail, trying them publicly, and people say they go to jail, it just, when there's a consequence of bad behavior, the ill will continue. So we must have the political will
you see,
to go after these guys.
If you go to any POS operator and he wants this new naira note, they will charge a separate. Yes. When I come on board, I don't say what I don't do because I like to go to with this. But what I normally do now, I exchange my money through the bank, through my church. On Sundays, I will pay money. But if you want to go through POS, they will charge you someone. Then if you want to go to any party to collect the new ones, do you know 1,000 naira I transfer 100 naira?
Yeah.
That's so much.
I'm just telling you.
So that's big business.
Go and verify. So when we talk things like that, we don't say because we want to say it. Go to any party this Saturday where they are spreading this money.
Of course, yes,
1,000 naira attracts 400 naira. And that is how they do it. And they will tell you we buy it. Even the POS operators say we buy it. Do you understand me? So, like you said, we have to have political will to discipline people to make sure that this corruption, if it doesn't kill us, God will help us.
But it's really going to help us, to be honest.
Well, those in authority, I did not there. I attended one party in the East, very classical party, people of some people there, and they were spreading this money. I was watching, they were spreading that money. So what I did was, when I went to BC, I said it. I said, I was at this party, mentioned those that they were there watching this people spreading new money. And nothing was, even some policemen were there. Some policemen were there. They couldn't say who reported. Remember the issue of vote buying?
Yeah.
EFCC said until somebody reports.
Okay.
So that's the issue. So it's not a hidden thing that they spread money at randomly, carelessly in any both political event or even wedding, marriages, even in churches. You go to churches, they are dancing, spreading money.
Spreading money.
I tell you one church that the couples were matching, they were spreading money and they were dancing. That is rubbish. We don't accept that. We should respect our currency.
Yes, we should respect our currency. And for the fact that there is a law guiding us with regards to that, we have to, be upright about that. Okay, I wanted us to take Jambo because Jam's updates, but because time is already fast spent, so I'll just take something that we can really wrap up in a few minutes. Well, let's talk about the Senate President God's Will Akpabio video, where he said, I'm not I'm not one of those people who will step down due to false allegation. And a lot of us have come on this table, to say he's supposed to have actually stepped down due to those allegations, but he's saying that they are false, meaning he didn't do it, obviously, and of course he's not. They shouldn't expect him to step down, even if people are thinking in that line of thought. Let's quickly watch the video where he made that statement, and of course we'll be right back to the studio to continue the program. I have a lot of questions that's regarding this, but let's take the video. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, we heard what Akpabio said, and he was even, a bit playful about it. It was like, if you ever expected me to, step down, I'm never stepping down for false allegations. So I'll start with you, Chris. And now, you heard it. Now, I feel like this is not a statement he should probably... I feel like this is not him leading by a good example. Because we've all said, even on this table, that for such an allegation, which is not a mild allegation, he should have just stepped down and, focus on what is before him and do, what is right. Maybe clear his name. But here is telling even his people, his own people are telling him to expect him to step down. But he's saying, no, you can't expect me to step down because you think other people are stepping down and I will step down. I'm not someone that would ever step down due to false allegation. What's your thought about that?
Okay, fine. To start with, there should be a process to everything. Now, ideally, the process will entail some moral burden that should demand that he steps down. Right? That's a moral burden.
Yeah.
But there's also an abuse of process, okay, which can make victim of him. Now, as it is now, I think the only time it will actually make sense to demand for Akpabio to step down will be if these allegations have come with weighty evidence. Because so far, it has just been mere talk.
So you don't believe he should have even stepped down?
It shouldn't. It's not weighty. It's just false. It's just mere allegation. Because the allegation has not been supported with weighty evidence. So as far as I'm concerned, it could just be some kind of scheme and here and there, just abuse of process, just to embarrass him and then score some political gains. Okay, so if it's but in the first place, I'm actually surprised that the nation took this issue this seriously. I mean, somebody came out, make allegations, tough allegations, without a drop of evidence, and yet it got the entire nation running up and down, exposed us to the international community and all of that. Why? Is it because of the undertone behind it, all of that? It's something that should have been thrown away long before now, because you are making accusations up and down. You have not been able to drop any form of evidence, and yet the nation is taking you seriously.
But who should she be dropping the evidence for? Why do we need the evidence? If she has to drop an evidence, I believe it should be in court. Fine. You don't need the evidence.
Now, we do need the evidence because she came to the public to address Nigerians. All right. So if she did that, she has a moral responsibility to give some kind of evidence to the public. She hasn't done that. She has not done that with the court because she has not sued. What she sued in the court was suspension from the court, not sexual harassment. She didn't go to court on sexual harassment. So there's no point taking evidence to court on sexual harassment when you have not even sued on that. Okay. So she's not dropping evidence. So we just, as I telling Akpabio to walk into a trap. No, that's what we are doing here.
Mr. Chris, hold on a minute. So, I mean, it's not a big deal for Akpabio to step down if he believes it's false allegation.
It is a trap. It is a trap.
You see it as a trap.
Oh, absolutely.
You know it's a trap.
It is a trap. Because if you are making such accusation, you should drop some kind of evidence. It is based on that evidence on ground that I want to investigate. On the ground of investigating the evidence, then it will become a moral burden on Akpabio to step down. Okay, that way it will be fine. But right now, we are trying to bully Akpabio for her to have a way on mere accusation. That is not fair to Akpabio. To be very frank, that's not fair to Akpabio. If allegations is strong, she should give us a hint of evidence. That way, we know we're dealing with serious issue. But right now, it's just mere words. And we have seen times and times again how people have been pulled down on such empty allegations. So you shouldn't make a victim of it.
You know, I'm a man of the scriptures. Paul was writing to Timothy, says a man that should be elected, appointed to the authority, but a man who has nothing against him. A man with one wife and things like that. But for moral sake, we discuss about this issue. Even the issue of Sandra. Another lady also came up. Professor, said that Sandra approached her. So there are a lot of allegations and accusations. To me, because of international community interest in this, if I were him, I would swallow my pride. I said, let me excuse myself, step down, let investigation go on. Because certainly I could be exonerated along the line. My friend is talking about evidence. You rattled me here last time. And I said, thank God that people have said, the evidence is not supposed to be brought out in the public. It should be deposited with the it should be through the lawyer.
Has she sued?
Wait now.
In the court. It's over 2 months now. Has she been able to sue?
They've not fixed the date yet.
They've not fixed the date. But the lady is saying, I have my evidence. And when it is appropriate time for me to present my evidence, I will present it. Where? In the court of law. And you see, remember, this man has a lot of bad things. Remember, I think a lecturer in the university, one of the universities in the was jailed, confined by court of appeal for helping him or for doing the right thing, for rigging election in his favor. That alone is supposed to have stepped down. That alone should have disqualified him. But that didn't go his way. But now, this matter, I think my own opinion is that as a public servant, and this matter has gone so wide, he's supposed to just take honorably, say, let me step down. Ladies and gentlemen, call a press conference. What press conference? In view of the extent of this allegation, I want to sincerely step down to allow the due process to follow. Because I cannot preside over my own case. So that's my own point. Chris, me and you were discussing, we agreed that woman went too wide for rubbishing the image of Nigeria, rubbishing the image of the Senate president. So, but for it to have gone, she has gone a lot of way. So, to me, it's supposed to have stepped down.
But Chris, it's not the first time that a woman has accused Senate president.
It's not the first time that Natasha has also lied on sexual harassment. Okay, we have the case of I'm coming, sir. We have the case of Reno Omokri coming to the public to discuss how Natasha lied against him as regards sexual harassment and how he went to court, and Natasha had to beg and pay money to settle out of court. So she has that history. Of course, yes, it's the public domain. Reno has been talking about it, and today Reno talk about how Natasha had to pay for him to settle out of court. So she has the history, okay, of lying on sexual harassment, and all of a sudden it means nothing. So obviously the media is partial, and of course there's an agenda behind it, because I still don't get it. Why somebody would just come up with mere words of allegation without evidence, and all of a sudden it means everything.
The other woman had evidence.
What evidence?
Did she have evidence?
No. She came and said, Akpabio made advances and I slapped him.
No, she had all
what evidence? You educate us here now.
No, I think she had all those papers that says Akpabio comes to meet her to sign on her behalf, on his behalf.
Okay, is that on the sexual harassment?
Yeah, I mean, she said.
Okay, explain how signing paper is sexual harassment.
Let me come in here. You see, what we are talking about, whether he is supposed to step down.
And I'm telling you,
he
should protect himself too. You're accusing him falsely. You are setting a trap for him and you want him to walk into the trap like that?
Because of public interest and moral value, he's supposed to step down and say,
not when he knows there's a trap. Not when he knows this is a trap. They want him to step down. That is the goal. They want him to step down and do what they want to do. He is aware of that trap.
Okay, I want to ask, you keep saying trap. What trap could that be?
Of course,
what does it entail?
There's a political undertone to it. For crying out loud, Akpabio is the number 3 citizen of this nation. If you're going to accuse him of such, you should be able to back up that allegation with some form of evidence. It is the investigation of the evidence that will now demand, in fact, compel Akpabio to step down. But if there is no evidence, it could just be mere word. And like I said in that video, there's no situation whereby it will step down and after it's all going on, say, oh, sorry about that. Because the truth is this, it's just a matter of gambits. If you understand political tussle, this is political chess now. They want Akpabio to step down, all right? Then they know what to do to fill in the space. Because it's a chess.
No.
They just want him to step down. There's a political undertone to this.
Remember that even
Akpabio knows this. So it shouldn't walk into the trap.
His colleagues are in support of him.
It shouldn't walk into the trap.
Look, let me tell you.
You want him to step down, provide some evidence. Provide some evidence that of allegation. That way, you demand him to step down. But it's just mere allegation.
We must move this country by giving example.
Pressuring Akpabio to step down is asking him to walk into the trap. And that's not fair to him.
Let
the accuser drop some form of evidence.
That the election that brought him on board was rigged. So this is something and he said he was going to do something to remedy it. Unfortunately,
because there was weighty evidence. There was weighty evidence. Let us balance it.
This matter has not even.
Has there been any evidence of the allegation against Akpabio?
I'm not supporting Mr.
So if there's no evidence against him, then there is no. You shouldn't pressure him. You shouldn't bully him to step down.
He's supposed to prison before 2
No, because tomorrow. See. The problem here is this: the law of precedents. What they will now do is they will now weaponize allegation. At every turn, somebody will just come up and raise allegation. They will expect that the president has been to step. No, that's what it will become. People will not weaponize it. If you are dropping allegation, give some evidence. Then we can take you seriously.
You know how many years now the camera has stayed in the custody?
Do you know the kind of weighty evidence against him?
It is now. Before now, they've not brought any evidence. But now
the evidence has been in the public.
Wait, now they've started bringing evidence, and they now discover that some of the things collected in this has nothing to do with it. But then it is now they are bringing weighty evidences.
The evidence have always been in the public. I always say that the country is a terrorist, right? Because the evidence have been in the public. Somebody said in the public when Buhari was president, he said, I'm going to Abuja and I will come back with Buhari's head. You can't say that to a 6 American president and you're not picked up and then treated like a terrorist like that.
Okay.
He said that.
All right. Let's come back. Let's come back, please. I need to talk to my viewers. Mr. Chris, please. I need to talk to my viewers. Mazi, please. I need to talk to my viewers. Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you. Yes, please. Thank you so much, Sergi. Please go ahead.
Excuse me. Let us get to understand. If somebody has a business, you should act on that. The man speaking with the speaker is in actual fact speaking the truth. You don't allow a party to walk into a trap. You can understand the aspect whereby somebody is stepping down and saying he's waiting for each of the committee to go into the inquiry. The inquiry already has spoken for itself. This lady has been known for various activities. Even going to outside world, the aspect of the parliamentary system, don't allow her to go there. You can see her one time, something struggling to sit with a party at an international forum. This woman is a dangerous person, and I don't see the reason why most of the ladies that are supporting her. We should be objective and go for the truth and say the truth. I personally support the party of the better stepping down. This is the respect that, and we shall do the end of the whole nation. And I do hope this lady will be prosecuted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very objective.
Well, I Mazi, our time.
Court of law decides otherwise.
Yes.
For now, morally, we expect him to say, ladies and gentlemen.
That morally.
Okay,
is a
Mr. Chris,
compromise.
please. We can't take any more suggestions. I'm so sorry. Let me just read one from our viewers. This one says, like Adebantu said, loyalty for this government is cash and carry. Objection na mortuary. Evening gets agenda with their mercenary enterprise. When you have this gang of corrupt birds flocking together from presidency to Senate president, these people can never step down because no principle or integrity or capacity. And excuse me, and now they want to compromise the whole institution. It's a shame the worst of us is really the best of us. Truly, there was a country. I'm sure this is Dio from Lagos. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. I just want to say this. A lot of people that always expect evidence, to be honest, by protocol and everything, you cannot demand for evidence except you are in court. Because trust me, if you bring out your evidence, they'll always look for something to, to fight. It's like you're getting them prepared for what you want to bring to court. That's what I know. But anyways, we'll wrap up the show. I would like to say thank you to my caller. Soji, thank you so much. And thank you, Daya, for your message. Apologies to those I did not pick their message. You could see it was a heated argument already. But anyways, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Mazi, for being on the program. And also thank you so much, Chris, for being part of the program. Well, Patricia, just say goodbye because I don't want them to yank us off.
I just hope she has evidence.
I just hope she has evidence because, this is a whole lot.
I just hope she has evidence. Anyway,
well,
we've come to the end of the show. I'm Patricia Gabriel.
Yes. All right. Do have a beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.